Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. So today I have a new kayak and we're gonna go take it fishing. I'm gonna do a walkthrough video, but we're taking it to a lake. This lake actually I have never caught a fish out of. I've only been out here once, and that was like 2 years ago. I don't know how the fishing is in it, but I just walked down to like the edge of the lake just to see if we had somewhere to put in at, and there's a fish feeder down there. So seeing the fish feeder means that obviously they have something to feed. Now what species of fish they're down there feeding, like whether there's bluegill, catfish, crappie, hopefully bass, but who knows? We're gonna figure it out together this morning. We're taking the new kayak out. If you look at it, it's a little dirty because we have been using it, and I want to be able to give y'all a proper walkthrough video of it before like I take it out. You know, I didn't want to just take it out. I have it sitting out here and be like, oh, that looks cool, without actually using it a little bit. One of this is a native watercraft Slayer Max. This is the 12.5. This is the big boy, the big one. This is by far the biggest kayak I own. I will say it's pretty heavy too. Like, it's definitely one that you could probably get a trailer for, like if you're either an older guy, you know, you're not able to maneuver it, because it's not even about weight, it's just how awkward those kayaks are. They're so big and long and like heavy, and this one's almost 13 feet long, so like you can imagine just trying to pick that up, move it around. It's pretty difficult. Like even for me, like normally I haven't really struggled with any of my kayaks. The sidekick system on this helps a ton because it gets the back end off the ground a little bit. So like putting my truck bed with the wheels down is a lot easier than it would be without it. But it's heavy and it's difficult. So with that being said, oh, also another thing, I added these new beach wheels to it last night, so we can do wet launch. I had a set of the old ones that I had on my Bonafide that take the air, like they have the air in them. So like when you put the wheels in the water and they're wet, of course, it's kind of hard to take them out because, you know, anything that's buoyant under the water, you know, has that pressure wanting to come up, but the kayak's able to hold it down. But these, no sir, I was actually up till 2 o'clock in the morning. I got this thing. This kayak is a new to me kayak, so it's not like a brand new kayak. So the one thing that I was supposed to do was they gave me a drop down rudder. The rudder in this kayak, I kind of like it how it is now because it just swivels from side to side. It doesn't necessarily drop. So they gave me that. I was supposed to put that in. I was sitting trying to figure out how to do that last night, and it's not super complicated, but I just kind of rigged it up. I kept it how it was. I didn't install the new one. So I want to show y'all how you would get it from the factory before I put that on there. But we were up late last night rigging this thing up. Also, with these wheels, like there's little pins that go in the wheels, and I couldn't get those to fit, so we had to run to Lowe's and get these really big pins, and getting those in were a pain, but we got it done. I had to use a zip tie and a flathead screwdriver to get them in. Don't ask me how I did that. I should have recorded it, but it was a pain. But those wheels definitely aren't going anywhere. So yeah, I love the kayak so far. We're gonna take it on the water, and I'll talk to y'all about it when we get it on the water a little bit. All right, let's dump this thing in the water. This is my first time using these new wheels on it, so. The other ones work fine, but hopefully these work just a little bit better. There's nothing wrong with the other ones. They're just, you can get them out, you just kind of have to jiggle them a little bit. Jiggle, jiggle. Boat's floating good right here. It's we're deep enough to let our wheels touch, or not touch. All right, not sure what our best lure option is gonna be for right now, but, because I literally know absolutely nothing about this place. So, pretty excited to get out here. One thing I will say about this boat, it's super smooth in the water. Like, just gliding through the water, it feels like a hot knife through butter. Like, it's not like a sales thing. It just feels good. Like, it's like it feels like it's like, you know, like, all right, first cast. I know absolutely nothing. When I say nothing, I don't know depth, water temperature. Ooh, hello. Depth, water temperature, anything of that such. I do know that a red Frittside catches fish. That's all I know right now, and that's why we're gonna throw it for a little bit. Another thing, I don't like to sit down when I fish, but this kayak seat sits up so high that it makes it pretty comfortable. And then also, like, I've learned whenever I'm exploring like this, I do need to sit down because I'll pedal really fast and I'll try to stand up and be cool. Then I'll hit a stump or something like that and almost fall out of the boat. So I'm like, all right, maybe I should just sit down for a little minute and, you know, get my bearings about me until I know where I'm at and kind of what I'm doing a little bit more. I think there's like a creek back over here. I think it'd be pretty cool if we could like go back in there on this kayak. Because honestly, I wouldn't even go to the main lake if we can go catch fish in that little creek. And like looking on Fish Brain, this place looks like it has like decent fish in it, but there's not a whole bunch of catches here. That's one thing that I always kind of, I don't let Fish Brain like determine if I'm going or not. I just kind of like to see the quality of what people have posted at least. I know there's a creek. Oh, there's a creek that runs somewhere back in here. If this is like the mouth of it right here, I'd love to be able to go back in there. Honestly, I just go fish that today. Also today, if we can find somewhere like some hard bottom, I feel like we'll be able to catch some fish, like some in the hard sandy bottom. I'm not sure where that would be at in the lake. It's like all this right here has kind of felt a little soft, or from the areas that I've like been able to make contact with the bottom, this little Frittside, it's felt soft. So like if we're able to find somewhere that's good and sandy, or like harder bank, I think that might be kind of the key for us today. Oh, we should have brought a top water. Ooh, that looks good back in there. And there's like little beaver sticks. Those are always a good sign for me. Anytime I see like beaver activity, I automatically think big bass. Like, it doesn't happen every time, but pretty frequently whenever I cast towards like a beaver dam or something of that nature, there's always a big fish associated with the beaver dam. Oh, we can go pretty far back in here. It's cool. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Not seeing too much activity. There's a little wake or something right there. Oh, we're gonna have to put our rods down. For some reason, I have never been able to figure out how to keep my rods up while I fish out of this, like out of a kayak. Like I always hit them. I don't see how people do it. Like I always just end up catching my rod. And like some days I'll be doing good. Like I'll be out for like 2 hours, haven't hit it yet. And then like on the way back in, or like, you know, on that cast, like, oh, I just need to get a cast right here. I always hit a rod. And I haven't broke one yet, but I feel like I'm on the way to breaking one. Pretty shallow, but I feel like we definitely have to send a couple casts down this wall just because there might be one hanging out in there. Oh, we're spooking them out. Oh, bluegill though, there's fish in it. Hey, it's a sign. It's a start. I just wish the water was coming like this way. Well, actually, yeah, it is flowing down this way. That's just weird that there's no fish over here. Or there's fish, but like I haven't caught one over here. I feel like this video is like full of like hints and like future videos that I've already recorded. Like, I mean, there's stuff in this video right now that's like in future videos. I mean, even the clothes I'm wearing are in future videos. There's so much stuff that like I've done in this kayak already to like get a good feeling in videos that I recorded out of this kayak. Just to make, oh, that's not a fish. Dang. Oh, hey, popped off. I'll take it. There's a lot of stuff that I've done in this kayak so far. Just kind of getting ready for this video or for today. All right. I think it's safe to say we should just go to like the main lake and try out there because this ain't working. This ain't working. So we got a jig, a bigger crankbait. Like we have a red crankbait, a shad crankbait. Red this time of year seems, excuse me, red this time of year seems like it does pretty good. This is a little Frittside 5. This is just like the little standard Frittside. I like the 5 or the 7. I've been getting a lot of bites on this one here recently. It's just red time of year, like fish just kind of key in on red. Don't ask me why. They just like it, and that's what we go by. We go by whatever the fish like. It's whatever they want. That's what we try to provide for them. So we're gonna pack up and get out of here and try to go back out towards the main lake. This is just kind of like a little sub creek region. Nothing really going on back in here, but we can say that we tried it at least, and you know, Might not have any luck, but we at least attempted it. We'll have to come back in here with like a choppo, something like that, and kind of fish down this grass line. I bet you there's some like little ones. I kind of imagine it like, you know, the little fish that kind of chase behind and miss it a couple times and they barely get a hook. That's how I think it'd be back in here. I don't think it'd be anything too crazy, but there has got to be one back in here. And then also it's, ooh, this water's still cold too right here. That's so weird to me. You go to some lakes and the water's like, feels like it's about 100 degrees, and then you go to others, and I mean, water is flowing in and out of here pretty frequently, so I'm sure that might have a little something to do with it. But you go to some lakes this time of year, it's like, whoo, like I could jump in this and swim, and some are like, Thing that looks like where we just came from. So all that we're just gonna skip over. I think the move is we go straight to this bank over here. A little bit deeper water. We might throw that bigger crankbait. We'll see. We'll figure it out together today. So this is the true start of the video. That was just like a little exploration. Is that a fish? Fish! Yeah, let's go, baby. Red Frittside. Give me a red Frittside. I'll bring you back a fish, baby. Let's go. Fish number one. Hey. Give me a red Frittside and I will bring you back a fish. First official fish in our new kayak. Not the craziest one, but I promise you guys they get better. They get better. Just stay tuned to the channel. We went out a couple days on this thing and we did pretty good. Not the biggest one in the world, but it is a fish. Let's go. There's fish in this lake. There's fish in this lake. Let's go, baby. Awesome. Thank you, dude. You have no clue how much you mean. Awesome. All right, so that's one on the red Frittside. Give me a red Frittside and I will bring you back a fish. 100% of the time. I've been able to keep good on that promise. I need y'all to send me some pins to like the worst lakes you've ever fished. Now, if it's like a little small pond, like an acre pond, we're not doing that. I'm talking about like a lake, like a decent, it needs to be 3+ acres in size, or yeah, 3+ acres in size. And it needs to be like minimum 10 feet deep, like Frittside depth, and there has to be bass in it. Like at least 10 bass in it. Give me a week and I will bring you a fish, or just give me 24 hours at the pond. I'll bring you back a fish. Like I seriously believe that I could catch a limit in like an Elite Series tournament with the red Frittside, depending on where I'm at. You know, if it's like some like deep, clear lake where people catch fish in like 40, 50 foot of water, and maybe not. But for the most part, 95% of the time, give me a red Frittside, I'll bring you back a fish. Man, is that not? Is that just not the most beautifulest thing in the world? You don't know how excited I am to catch that little fish. Like, that's awesome. They got my adrenaline going. They got me pumped to be out here today. Like, I was like, I don't even remember like where I casted at to catch them. Like, was I like close up against the bank, or was I kind of casting straight in front of me? I started casting like, I started trying to cast kind of like straight in front of me, just because there's so much stuff, it seems like, in the water about 6 feet off the bank. So kind of parallel cast with a kayak, or parallel cast with the bank, seemed like they were working a little bit better. One thing about this kayak, I will say it does track very well. And what I mean by that, like, it holds its line pretty well, especially like if you're just floating. When you're fishing, of course, like fishing a moving bait, you're kind of going to go in the direction of the moving bait. But what I like to do, I just like to offset my rudder a little bit. So like turn my handle, you know, not a full turn, not even a quarter of a turn, like 1/8 of a turn, the opposite way that I'm fishing or throwing my crankbait. It seems like it kind of doesn't always help. You kind of have to fine tune it to the crankbait you're using. Like this little Frittside doesn't pull us as bad as like a dredger, digger, like a money badger would, like a bigger crankbait that goes a little bit deeper. But one thing I will say, it seems like I can keep this, like when I get it dialed in, it seems like I can keep it on track pretty well. Like right here, it's kind of hard because we're about to, there's a good one. That's a good one, that's a fish. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. It's not crazy big, but a lot bigger than what I expected to catch in here. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Dude, that's a thick one. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Oh, let's go. That is not a crazy fish, but nonetheless, It is a fish. I think this might be one of the big ones we've caught out of this kayak so far. Hey, let's go, baby. We can go in our trusty. Oh, he's peeing the kayak. I wish he would stop that. He's still peeing. I was not expecting this today. Woo. Let's go, man. Let's go. Look at that, boys. That's a healthier one. I gotta make sure it's on this camera because that camera probably looks like he's about this big. Look, that's him compared to my hand. I was not expecting that at all. At all. That fish has potential. Let's get a weight. Ooh, I was certain that this like was just like a dink fest. I was certain of it. That's a good one. I forget you had to push the power button to weigh them. Hey, 2-pounder. 202. 2-pounder, baby. Let's go. 202. 2-pounder. Let's go. Awesome. See you later, man. Thanks for hanging. There she goes. What? I was not expecting to do that today. I was really not. That 2-pounder made my day, 100%. Give me a red Frittside, I will bring you back a fish. Man, that's a pretty good feeling. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's pretty good. And then this lake is pretty big, so like we've probably fished 3% of it. Oh, I see some rocks up here. I think the rock should be a pretty decent place to catch one. You'd think it gets seems like it might get a little shallow right here where we're at. Boom, dude, 2-pounder to start off the day. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that 2-pounder feels like a 10-pounder right now. Well, I'm not gonna say that, let me not say that. That 2-pounder feels like about a 4-pounder would on like a normal day. That's because I had such low expectations for this today. I was like, man, we're just gonna go out here and like try to catch one. I like to catch some more, but like, I'm happy we got that 2, dude. I'm ecstatic that we caught a 2. Like that, oh, we just got hit right there. That 2-pounder to me is like a 4 in my heart. We're gonna be smiling for the rest of the day. Caught 2 on that little stretch right there. Got 2 fish right side for both of them. I'm trying to think of what else could we throw. I mean, we just caught a pretty decent fish on the Frittside, so like we're not in desperate need of a change, but we have 2 fish so far on this thing in 10 minutes. So it would be nice to be able to switch up and kind of throw something a little bit different, but the other crankbait that I have, it dives a lot deeper than this Frittside does. The jerkbait's gonna go deeper. And then that jig, it's just so grassy right in here, I don't think it'd really be worth it as of right now. I mean, even like underneath these trees right here, all the trees that I fish have had grass right underneath them. So we either need like a smaller profile jig or like, I don't think it's the right time to be trying to throw that right now. Oh, let's see. So whenever I'm at a new lake, guys, one thing that I always like to look for, especially like this time of year, if I'm trying to fish a crankbait or something like that, I always look for the steeper bank and I always try to fish the steeper bank. Also, like if there's a bank that just seems like it has fish and the other one doesn't. So like I've caught 2 fish off of this bank. Coming around this point, it'd be real easy for me to come over here and fish this one, but I would fish this one on the way out. Or when I get to like the end of this bank, I would turn around and then come back down this one. Like, just because, you know, you already have something going on this bank, and then whichever one is steeper, that's gonna be a little bit deeper water. So like this one looks like, honestly, it's a hair steeper than this one is. So this one's gonna have a little bit of deeper water on it. And there's also trees on it. So deeper water just gives the fish a little bit more room, have a little bit more cover, just got a little bit more space to operate. And majority of the time, I want to fish the deeper bank. Now sometimes, like now this bank's just 30 foot deep and then this bank has sand on it. I'm probably gonna fish this bank with like a chopper or something like that over the top of it. Oh my gosh. Just had 2 cats back to back in trees. just because of the time of year it is, like fish will start to think about getting a little bit shallower, but I think this water's still fairly cold. It's kind of warming up as we get on back in here, but when we started off, it was really cold actually. I feel like that has to be a fish right there. I think that's gonna be our strat right through here. We're just gonna stay in the middle and try to fish both sides, because we have a lot to fish today, and I don't think we could even really fish this whole thing in a day, or we would probably get done out here at 4 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock right now, so. I wonder if squirrels have like little mini panic attacks whenever they jump on a limb and it kind of gives a little bit. Because I've seen one squirrel fall out of a tree in my life, and it like jumped out of a tree. It was probably a good 15, 20 foot drop. I mean, the higher drops feel like when you shoot them, of course, and they're not living on the fall down, or like by the time they hit the ground, they're definitely not alive. But you know how like you'll see a squirrel kind of give its position away, like it'll jump on a limb and you just see the whole limb go down. Like imagine how scary that has to be for a squirrel. Well, I guess not, because squirrels can like climb trees really well, so they could probably find something to grab onto when they fall down, but couldn't be me. I think I'm too scary for that. You're not gonna find me jumping tree limb to tree limb like a little mini Tarzan. All right, we're gonna switch to the jerkbait, throw the jerkbait back in here, because we have seen a couple little ripples out in the middle. Just to say we tried it. I know this setup might look crazy, but just hear me out. The rocket with the jerkbait is really a move, because you can pick up your slack so quick. I love this reel to death, but it's so weird fishing it because it's different. Like it's so fast, you have to like remind yourself, like I don't need a full turn of the handle, like I just need quarter turns or like half turns. There we go, got one hooked up on the jerkbait. Not a bad one, feels pretty good. He hasn't came up yet. Oh, we got him underneath the chin, that's why. Awesome, switched up to the jerkbait, got one, boys. Ooh, thank you, Mr. Bass. On the Stunna. Awesome. On a little jerkbait. Not a 2-pounder, but it's a fish. It's a fish. Hey, I thought he was a lot bigger, not gonna lie. I don't know what made me think that a high speed gear ratio with a jerkbait would be a good idea, but we've been catching fish on it. Like we caught that 7-pounder on this reel. We caught just that fish just now on this reel. Like it's been working for us. It's just something about being able to pick up that slack quick. So like, I feel like it's a little bit more customizable. Like I like the quick reel. You know, when you feel that bite, you're one quick turn, you already got them. Like you can go ahead and get your sweeper motion in, since you really don't have to set the hook, or probably shouldn't set the hook on a jerkbait. You know, to each his own, but. There we go. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. It's a gnat. I don't know. Yeah, that's a gnat one. The net's more just like a safety feature than anything. All right, let's not get in the trees if we don't have to. Let's avoid those. And we'll just go right over the spot where we just caught that fish from. I think a jerkbait this time of year is so good because they're chasing bait. It's just that sporadic twitching of the jerkbait, and then it just stops. I've said it 3 times, or I say it in future videos, but like, it just reminds me of like, all right, say you haven't eaten in 10 days, you're starving to death, like literally starving to death. And you see a McDonald's 1/4 pounder with cheese, just fresh out of the grease, just dripping with grease. And it has arms and legs and it's running away from you, and you're chasing it, and every like 10 feet it stops. It's like, ah. And every 10 feet it stops. It's like, ah. Like that's what I imagine a jerkbait looks like to bass. Like you're chasing, like they're following it, then like every time you twitch it, it's like, ah. Can't get me. We'll take it. Not the biggest bass in the world, but got a little gut on them. Awesome. We're just here patiently waiting on the spawn, baby. Patiently waiting. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I think it's safe to say like this is my first time out here because this is the first time I've caught fish. Like I said, I came out here, I think it might have been like kind of dead heat, middle of the summer, so like might have not been the greatest time to be out here, but man, today we're doing pretty decent. Definitely could have went without the net on that fish. But now just to be on the safe side. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now let's see, where should we catch that next? Right there? Yeah, I like that. Stability of this thing, I like it. It took me a little bit to get used to it just because it's different from a lot of the kayaks that I have. It almost feels like you could roll in it. Like, it feels like when you're standing up in it, it'll like just kind of roll over. But I think it just kind of has like a wider balance to it, if that makes sense. Like you have a little bit more room to kind of play. But definitely very stable. Like, I don't think we're gonna go anywhere. Whoa, hey there. That was a little tight there for a second. Something you need to tell me, Mr. Jerkbait? Did you have one? Hey, there goes my paddle. The key is stay calm. I'm back here. That's not nice. Where were you going? This jerkbait's been good to me. It has about every other hook on it. We're missing one right there, missing one right there. We need to replace those. I'm gonna be hurt if we like catch a big one or hook into a big one and it comes off. That's gonna be the first thing that I blame. Man, I should have changed that little hook. But yeah, what was I saying? I was saying something about the stability. Very stable, very, very stable. I mean, it's a 13-foot kayak. You'd hope it'd be pretty stable, but I will say I only have Old Town and Bonafides, and like people ask like, which one's more stable? Honestly, I don't know. I think they're all pretty stable because I don't want to test and like flip one, especially now right now, it's still a little cold out. Maybe I just have to take all of them out one day and just like see which one is the easiest to flip. But the thing is, each of them kind of ride different. Like each of them have like a different balance point, and then they both have a second catch point. Like the salty PDO that I have, like you'll think you're gonna flip it and then it like catches again and it has like a second catch point. This one, really haven't tested it too much. I've had this thing for 2 weeks, 3 weeks now, and I haven't had any like sticky situations in it as of yet. And I mean, I really don't think you'll ever flip a fishing kayak while like catching a fish, if you're bass fishing. Now if you're like catching a tarpon or something like that, good luck to you. But like just bass fishing, normal use like this, I don't really think I'll ever have a problem with it. But I think where it get kind of sketchy at, like you'd probably fall out of it before you just flip it, just out paddling in the middle of the lake. And what I mean by fall out of it, like I said earlier, you pedal really fast, then get to like, go to stand up, hit a stump, and then like fall out of it before you just like flip it over. All right, how many fish are we at? 4? I like to catch one more just to say we caught 5, because this is a very unexpected day so far. Like I was not expecting to be able to do this at all, but we're having a good day. And then we caught fish on the jerkbait and the Frittside. We caught a 2-pounder this morning. Like I'm not hating on a 2-pounder at all. All right guys, we just got off the water and check it out, there it is. Looks pretty sweet, I'm not gonna lie to you, it looks pretty bad sitting there. I'm gonna give y'all a quick walkthrough of how I have it rigged right now. This is like fresh off the water. So this is how I was operating it on the water. I talked a little bit through it on the GoPro, but just to give y'all a good overview of the kayak. It's a new to me kayak. It was previously used. It's not like heavily used. It was just kind of like a shoot kayak. So like they were going out to take pictures in it and whatnot. That's what it was used for. When I got it, it was covered in sand. So I think they might have used it for a little beach mission or something like that. All right, up here in the bow, good beefy sturdy handle. Definitely best handles that I have across any of my kayaks. 2 forward-facing rod holders right here, also a GoPro mount. This came with the kayak. If you buy one, I'm not gonna promise you that that's gonna be on there. Probably not gonna be on there, actually. All right, so more gear, more accessory rails right here. Then also you have a good bungee system. Then you have your front hatch. This is a battery compartment, but I just keep keys, you know, a couple granola bars. That's all my camera gear, ND filter in there. Yeah, I love the big dry storage hatches, and then it's also pretty cool that they give you an included battery spot too. So, you know, if you want to rig it up, lights, electronics, trolling motor, whatever, you have that option. Cool. All right, then we close that. Then on back, you have your propel drive right here. Same method, clip in, clip out, pops out. Super cool. Then it also clips right here for like a little third clipping point. Right here is your clip for your propel drive. Let me show you all this. Anytime I have an opportunity to tell somebody about this, I always like to. So if you are in the kayak and you push this down, it's kind of hard to do with one hand, and you keep spinning your feet pedals, boom, lines up your prop so you can pull it out of the water. That's one thing that can be a little difficult in these kayaks, is like getting your prop lined up, especially if the water's not clear. It's kind of hard to see it sometimes. So that's one thing that is very nice to have. You just push that little thing down, keep spinning your propeller forward, then it'll catch it, just pull it straight up. All right, so gear track here, mounting bracket comes factory with those two. So electronics, whatever you want to put right there, you have that option. All right, we're gonna move this. Sorry, PFD, actually an Old Town PFD. So seat, this is what I'm talking about with the seat. Has that automatic bungee feature. I love that. I love that. I wish all kayaks had that. Under seat storage, just right now I got some sunglasses, got my scale. I ended up keeping my pliers over there because we started catching them pretty good. So just wanted to have those a little bit more accessible. There's room for two 3600 size Plano boxes. I said that earlier. This is your rudder control right here. This little compartment, I'm not really sure what it's used for yet, but like I said, as of right now, I just stick my phone down in there. Definitely need to find a better place to put my phone. I could put in the under seat storage, but I just kind of like it right there. Right here, you have 2 good beefy handles. You have one on each side. We're gonna walk around to the other side because you have a couple cool features over here. So you get to the other side, you have another phone compartment, keys, whatever. Forward-facing rod holder, that's always clutch. I really don't use my upright rod holders because, like I said on the kayak, I end up snagging them for some reason. Like the way I cast, it just doesn't ever really work for me. So the forward-facing rod holder, I love it because if I catch a fish, I can drop my rod down in there and I don't have to worry about like where am I gonna put it, where's it gonna go. I'll just drop my rod down in the forward-facing rod holder, unhook the fish, do whatever I gotta do. I can sit down, do it, I can stand up and do it. I love a good forward-facing rod holder. And then it's on my right-hand side. On my Old Town Autopilot, it's on the left-handed side. I'm right-handed and the rod is normally in my right hand. So it's kind of awkward having to like switch it over and put it over there on the other side. I have a cup holder for whatever beverage of choice you like to bring out, or normally that'll just kind of be filled with like terminal tackle throughout the day and hooks. Then tank well. The tank well in this thing is absolutely huge. You have gear track, you have a paddle holder. This is to hold your fishing rods if you have them in the forward-facing rod holders, but I have the sidekick on here, so it kind of prohibits that. So I'll sometimes stick my paddle right here. Sometimes, you know, if you just need to bungee something in or strap something down, that's always nice to have right there. This thing could fit easily probably a Yeti 35 on top of this 13, or I think I have the 13 by 16 version of the Black Pack Pro. Then I also have this pretty big soft plastic bin back here. And then also I have my camera box back here. So we have a lot of stuff in the back of this thing. So this is for my prop right there. And then also you have a little bit of dry storage right here. Also, I think that actually has a different function. I think you can run wiring or something like that. I was watching a video on it last night, but everybody seems like they kind of have a different use for it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You have 2 really beefy handles back here. More gear mounting accessories. So like if you want to mount a Boomstick Pro, like that's probably where I put it back here. That's not a bad idea. We might actually end up getting one of those. And then also you have a little drainage hole right there. So that's a really quick walk down, run through of this kayak. You're gonna see a lot of this kayak here coming up on the channel just because it's gonna be like my new pond fishing kayak. So I can get a little workout in while I'm out in the water, and then also it does really good while you're out. One thing that I forgot to mention is they gave me this. It's like a little, I don't know, it looks good. I like the Native Watercraft logo on it. And you can keep little, you know, I'm not sure what I'll use it for, but one thing I'm really big on is you can never have enough storage. That might be too much storage on this thing, but like, hey, I'll find some way to use it. One thing I've been wanting to do whenever deer season rolls back around, I've been saying I want to kill a deer out of my kayak. So like, just having all that storage, you know, you don't have to have a whole bunch of stuff with you when you're hunting, but you know, just having the option of like, hey, if I want to bring an extra whatever, I have somewhere to put it, you know. So that's pretty much it for the walk through this kayak, guys. Let me know what you think about it. If there's anything you want to see on this kayak, I'm really thinking about it. I'm really seriously thinking about getting live scope, because I have a John boat and I have a lot of kayaks and I want to go and compete, and like, I feel like everybody else has, and I have, you know, if everybody else jumps off the bridge, you got to jump too. But yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. But also, if you give me a red Frittside, I'll catch a 2-pounder on it. So I'm going back and forth on like, do I want it or not? I feel like on big lakes, I kind of need it, but we'll see. We'll see. And I kind of want it just to learn how to use it. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to fish them hard and have a good day. This is our new juicy bass fishing kayak. I'm super excited for it. Let me know down below in the comments, what do you think about it? Also, I really love the color of the Bonafide kayaks. Bonafide and Native, same company. But I really like the colors on these things, because it just kind of feels like, it's like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing, you know. So, yeah, I appreciate all the support. Yeah, guys, I appreciate all the support. Don't forget to fish them hard, and I will see y'all on the next one. We got a lot of cool videos coming up, so make sure you stay tuned for them.